Good morning, this is Andy with Mountain Computers. Today we're going to go over the Go Green PC tune-up. I'm going to just quickly demonstrate to you how you use it, and that's about it. It's pretty straightforward. We've been using it for over 9 years manually, almost 14 years in the store, more manually than that. And then we wrote the software starting in 2009. We beta tested it. We ran it against folding at home for performance benchmarking, and then in 2014, 2015, we finally put it into gear, wrote a beta software, and in 2018 we released it. So March 2018 we released it to the public. We've got it installed in about 10,000 computers now. It's both, there's a freeware component to it as well as a paid side. There's no subscription. There's no privacy issues. We just basically, what we used to do manually, this utility application does for us, where it used to take us an hour, hour and a half to do it. This does it in about 10 to 15 seconds or less. So here we go. I went ahead and launched Go Green PC Tune-Up. There's a restart button right here at the top. Just going across the top, this is version 5.1.13, dated the release date of March 15th, 2019. We released about once a month. As you look at our logo right here, that's the tree. That is a tree. Some people said that's some sort of insect, but it's a tree on the earth. Is my design. 3.7.21 tune-up. If you double-click on each one of these, it tells you what functions it calls. Create OEM folders. That's where we store all of our tools and output reports. We toggle the desktop icons to show the ones that we need on the desktop that we always like. Usually it's just the user profile and the My Computer icon, and that's it. Correct restore point frequency. Microsoft Windows developers, they don't have that set right. They never have. Change folder options. That's the way in which the folders, when you open up like My Computer or you open up a folder on your desktop, those do not get displayed properly and efficiently to where they run at the fastest speed. And predominantly, you just want to see details as well as desktop icons in certain places. Also in the downloads folder, one of the things that typically pictures and downloads, it displays them as pictures rather than just general items, so that speeds up the view of it rather than the status bar across the top of the window taking forever. We changed the search options. We want to show everything in that window possibly. We control panel view. We like large icons versus just the category view. Over in the 7 point, we have delete temp files everywhere, delete log files everywhere, delete task files everywhere, stop non-essential services, and we set the max password age. Some of these are self-explanatory. Temp files, they just jack up your computer. Log files, those need to be cleaned up when we run this, so when we're looking back over time, you're not looking at 5 years of history, and that's where the scammers get you. They show you stuff that's a year old that really doesn't apply anymore. The task files, we only dump the unnecessary tasks. We don't alter the system ones. Like the most important ones we don't touch are like your backups and stuff. Non-essential services. There's only two right now that really are non-essential in Windows 10 for performance reasons, and that's the super fetch and then the Windows search function. Set max password age. That one's self-explanatory. We set that to never expire instead of every 90 days or 45 days. Now we're talking about home users. We're not talking about corporate policies, corporate whatever. And typically, if it is a corporate policy, we can't change this because there usually is a GPO that's set to already have this set at a different value. The 21-point tune-up, this is analyze the set event logs. We set the event log sizes to 4 meg on the application as well as the system rather than 20 meg. We leave the security and we leave the other ones alone. But we do clean up all the event logs when we run this, because one of the things that you do see is years and months and weeks of unnecessary log files, and we just want to start fresh when we run this to look at what's within the last 30 days. Clear all event logs. We talked about analyze, reset network stack. We reset the network stack, the WinSock, the network stack, the That's important. If you do have applications that need back through the firewall, those will pop back up and you'll need to allow them. So just pay attention when you reboot after you run something like this. Analyze set power options. For laptops, we change it to high performance if the charger is plugged in. If it's unplugged, we don't touch it. There are screwed up, what do you call it, power profiles on laptops. We can't necessarily reset those to the manufacturer because they have different ones. HP has a variety of them. Acer, Asus, MSI, all of them have their own unique power profiles. But we do the basic Windows standard power option profile for high performance. Don't go to sleep, don't turn off the screen, brighten it up. So when you run this and the screen brightens up, that's because we set the profile to high performance. The reason why is when you run your laptop, when you run your PC, we want maximum performance. When you're done, shut it down. Some people want your computer to go to sleep, or they want it to hibernate. Those are very bad power options. They end up causing more harm than good. Analyze download folders view. I mentioned that in the previous 7 point. We actually do it here again. So that's about it. Let's see here. 3, 7, 21 point. So if you click on 21, which we default to, it'll run the 3, the 7, and the 21 steps. Now if you're in a hurry, you can just run the 3. If you got some time, use the 7. 21 point, it just depends how old the computer is, how long it's been since it's been cleaned up. So going across these buttons here, we got the tune-up system and check performance. Tune-up system, that one requires a serial number and an order. Tells you right there, order, unlock. Check performance. You click that, all of these options down here will be, I'm going to click this just for a second, the network, because I don't want it to time out and take too long. So I'm going to say check performance. What that did was it analyzed the 5 major categories of the user interface, the file system, the CPU, the virtual memory, and the internet network performance it skipped. So that was pretty fast, easy. You can look at these performance history window. These are the response times. We check specific folders and pathing to see how fast they come back at us. As you can see, right now it's running like 31, 16, average 23, 62, 47, 54, 5. You can click it again, and you'll see it actually speeds up because of caching. But overall, that doesn't matter. The active power scheme, the CPU max, the virtual memory paging file is outside the acceptable limits, even though they are. Well, it isn't, right? Because it's supposed to be between the paging file is 16, the total RAM is 16. I should describe what it should be. It should be 1.5 to 2.5 times the total amount of RAM. That's a formula that's been at Microsoft and not very well known in the public sector, but it has to do with paging memory to hard drive. Okay, let's go back up here. You can tell what type of processor we're running. We're maximum 16 gig of RAM, 64-bit. We're running Microsoft Windows 10, and there are 4 placements in the version control now. Windows 10, and I think at 8.2 they went to 1, 2, 3, 4 separations of the version. Complete percent, 1 red, yellow, 3 greens. That just means we were trying to use this to do some metrics and stuff that we'll do in the future, but we don't have enough performance info. So if I rerun this Go Green PC Tune-Up, it'll say memory load stats. The first time you run it, that won't show up. There are 45 times this program's been run on this computer with the maximum memory load of 55, the lowest of 26, the average of 41. Anything under 40, 50 is good. If you were in the 70s and 80s all the time, that's bad. Your virtual memory, we give you some advice, check performance, snapshot your results. That's down here, right there, that button. You can just click this, it saves your log information. You can open up your log to look at it real quick too. Scroll to the bottom, see the latest information. Let's see what else we got going on here. That's all your log file history. So anyhow, we have 2 windows, main log window, performance history window, debug window 1 and 2. That's to show what we're doing. You can clear all log windows. Check for updates. That basically says, would you like to go and download the latest? If you do, it takes you to a website, opens up your default browser, downloads the latest executable. You obviously have to close this program in order to install the new one because it'll say it's already running. That's about it. The question mark up here just gives you some information about the version, our phone number. The check performance, free to evaluate. This is some technical jargon that you might want to know. That's about it. Let's see. Control panel. Just open up the control panel and it shows you the large icon. If I switch to category view and close this and then reopen it, it actually puts it back the way I like it. You can see the Go Green PC TuneUp is actually an icon inside the application, inside the control panel. It actually opened up another session, so I'll just close that one. Close that. Create restore point. This is pretty cool. This is how we correct the restore points on every Windows computer. Version 7, 8, 8.1, doesn't matter, Home or Pro, Enterprise, Ultimate, doesn't matter. Open restore point, we're still developing. Gather system info. Let me open up the OEM tools folder and show you what that looks like. Right there, you can see that you have set info and sysinfo. The set info is basically the set command. We capture that to a log file so you can look at it. And then the actual configuration of your computer. If you run that, it actually runs two commands. It runs a set command and redirects the output to the set info file, text file. And the other one runs ms32 info. The beta button, if something's on it, it basically says, oh yeah, the last beta we were trying was the memory load stats. It won't hurt you. The network IPs, you can change the IPs that you scan for performance. The startup files, these are 4 files. The release notes tells you what we've been doing from the beginning of time. It tells you the README, tells you how to install it, remove it, troubleshoot it. The prerequisites, what operating systems it runs on. And then last but not least, it tells you the license, gives you all the information, use it at your own risk basically. Like I said, we've used it probably in the past, well, since March of 2018, we've used it on about 3,000 systems that's come into the office, 7,000 remotely. And as far as downloads go, we've had probably 100,000 downloads. As far as activity, we never get the log info. We do have people email us. That's good. Snapshot results, change color, that's sort of fun. I like different colors. People like to say, oh, I like this color. If you click restart, it just puts it back to the default. That's about it. If you want to order it, it takes you to a website. If you unlock it, you just type in the unlock code. If you need to unlock it and we give you a code, for example, 97520, 97520, you can see that it's actually checking the serial number. It's going to our server. It's analyzing it. It says, yep, verified, unlocked. Those 2 buttons disappeared. Now you can run the tune-up. If you need to deregister, deserialize the application, you can just double-click on this icon up here 3 times. Just double-click 3 times. It goes ahead and releases it, and it says, you know, serial number deregistered on the system. That's about it. We'll stop here, and we'll follow up later with more information.